I am Yolanda Cosme, otherwise known as Joe Cosme. I am a Boricua artist from Boriken, Puerto Rico, currently based in Seattle. My practice encompasses comparing the idea, which is a very colonially constructed version of what Puerto Rico is, versus the reality of Boricua islanders that we have been enduring for multiple generations under colonial subjugation that a lot of people don't really know about. As people who are raised in a colony, our histories of resistance and the realities of what we live are also kept from us. I was one of the people that was also deeply assimilated. It was a process of uncovering my own culture, even though I know it, but there's a lot of it that I didn't because of that censorship. Acts of colonialism aren't just something that happened a long time ago. It seeps in many other ways, like unregulated tourism and land grabs through disaster capitalism. The hurricane happened around 2017. I say around because the after effect lasted a long time. Started getting inspired by what was happening, and I made a piece of art. It was a tarot deck. With this tarot deck, I started telling the story of what we were living day by day. It was like, oh, the hurricane happened, poor Puerto Rico, and then everybody forgot. And I was like, well, we'll still have blackout. We still don't have food. We still don't have water. People are dying. It's still happening. All of a sudden, I got an email from Hyperallergic. I got an interview without electricity. And I started getting calls to give art talks in the continental US. I took the opportunity to move here. When people would ask where I was from, the response was really like, oh, Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny, and I was like, that's weird. Why would you leave paradise? I don't come from the vacation resort. I come from colonial subjugation. If I hadn't moved here, I wouldn't have known that's how we were being viewed. One of the touristic campaigns in Puerto Rico is called Discovered Puerto Rico, which is very colonial language. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna help you discover Puerto Rico through my photography, but the discovery will be our resistance and what we face. The lenticulars are interactive. We have to move around to be able to discover that side of Puerto Rico. Tourism is one of those myths that they tell us that it simulates the economy. It really doesn't. Tourism can be very extractive because it's not just the people, it's also the land, the culture, a lot of these things. So with the claw machine, I was trying to highlight complicity through forms of extraction, like tourism can be. Once they get the so-called prize, a star, you kind of think you see it says Discover Puerto Rico, but then you see it says don't. When you see it, you're like, oh no, I kind of participating in the quote-unquote discovering of Puerto Rico. There was a US flag without stars at the top. When I was here, the US flag was re-triggering, and then I was realizing that for me, each star represented genocide of the indigenous tribes here. I was kind of saying like, I don't want the star in my flag to go up there, because then that means they were also successful in the genocide of the Boricua community. So, the inflatable. It's called a vejigante mask. This mask represents kind of like a resistance to cultural assimilation. We use it in festivals across the archipelago. Loiza and Ponce particularly have different styles, and I have inflatables referencing both to pay homage to the artisans that make these masks, but then also Boricuas as Caribbean people. I was thinking about how there wasn't a game that facilitated like a lot of political conversation like Dominoes does for us. A lot of people that don't necessarily agree in political perspectives talk about it through Dominoes as like a facilitator. So what I did is like I changed each side to play from different perspectives. So you play from the three main political governments in Puerto Rico, Partido Independentista, Partido Popular Democrático, and the Partido Nuevo Progresista. One was statehood, the other one was liberation, and the other one wants to pretty much continue being a colony. And then the fourth side plays as the US. As you play from different perspectives, you get different things to do. So if you want liberation, you can't do anything because you're portrayed as a terrorist, you will be assassinated. You want to be a colony, you have to secretly ask the US what to do. And if you play as the one that wants statehood, you have to celebrate everything that the US wants to do. If you are the US, you get to steal, lie, cheat, make jokes, and look at everybody else's dominoes. Obviously, the US wins. So the prize at the end of the game is that you get a sand bottle that says Puerto Rico. So you get land grab. You start peeling out the layers and start seeing the realities of what it is to be a 500-year-old colony.